Hello Pantsers. I was looking through the comments of the videos from this week and Nella suggested that we tell more burning stories. Since I don't have anything else to talk about, I thought that I would do that. You guys can follow along suit and we can have a themed week if you want or not. It's up to you. So as it happens, I have a lot of burning stories. I have a lot of stories about fire. A friend of mine set my backyard on fire once. We were having a campfire. We were having a hard time getting the fire to burn, and he had a gas can in the back of his car. Before anybody could stop him, he just went whoosh! He had a whole thing container and he went like that and flung out like a stream of gasoline onto the fire. And of course the fire went back up into the container and he panicked and threw the gasoline container, which still had a bunch of gas in it, and it just went fling all over the backyard. Everything was a little bit scorched, but it didn't set anything on fire except grass, and the grass wasn't really dry, so we got it out and everything. For a long time after that we called him Trogdor because he had tried to burninate the countryside. Probably the weirdest time that I've been set on fire was the first time I had my hair set on fire. The first time I had my hair set on fire? It's happened more than once, people. It was at the first and only party that my best friend and I ever had. We had a Halloween party when we were freshmen, and we invited, I don't know, like 8 or 10 friends and acquaintances. It was just like a, an excuse for everybody to sort of get together and like eat candy and watch movies and listen to music. I was standing there talking to somebody, and they had turned around to talk to somebody else. I remember I looked over across the room at my best friend. All of a sudden I saw her face get really it was almost like a silent film actress, that kind of like, oh my god! And she kind of like sort of waved her hands around, and she was like sort of waving at the person next to me who didn't even see her because they were turned the other way. So she sort of flung herself at me and managed to sort of weave her way through this very small area because of the way the furniture was arranged. There was only like a little tiny walkway where she could get through. She got over to me and she started hitting me on the side of the head, and I didn't know why. And she was like really panicky. It wasn't until after she started slapping the side of my face that I saw a little flame flicker up. The whole side of my head was on fire. My hair was about waist length at the time, so like it was long, there was a lot of it, and it just went whoosh right up the side of my head. I was just standing there in an entire room full of people, all of whom were standing closer to me than Amanda, and not one of them moved to help. I would just like to make that very clear. Only Amanda was willing to throw herself at me and try to put the fire out. The thing that's really strange about this is that we never did figure out how I got set on fire, because although there were a lot of candles in the room, the closest candle to me was like 6 feet away, and there were like 3 people between me and it. So we never did figure out how I got set on fire. It was like this strange Halloween mystery. I've had my hair set on fire a bunch of times, but only twice that was really like a dangerous situation where I could have really gotten hurt. And both times Amanda was there. Both times she was far away from me and there were lots of other people closer. And both times she was the only person who made any attempt to help me put the fire out. You can see why I've kept Amanda as a friend all these years. Those are my fire stories for this time. I have more fire stories if we ever do this again. Alicia, I hope your week has been better this week than it was last week. Zoe, I freaking loved your video. I'm sure I owe a punishment video for something, probably for going over time. So at some point I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna steal your idea. We have about 2.5 weeks to our 1-year anniversary. I don't know if anybody wants to do anything for that, but I thought I would mention it. Don't forget to be awesome.